Hey, what's up guys, Ref here. So today's video is going to be an absolute doozy, a true crossover event featuring Hollywood, multiple franchises, and even some YouTubers. And this collision of parties here is going to lead to boycotts, controversies, and even some apologies as well. So this is the relevant headline for today. Project Hail Mary author nukes modern Star Trek, including Starfleet Academy, and its producer Alex Kurtzman for producing shows that are absolute garbage. Now, this headline has received overwhelming amounts of support. However, some notable soy boy YouTubers have started boycotts against Project Hail Mary, not only for the comments by its writer, but also given the fact that this set of comments was made during a stream with The Critical Drinker, which that previous YouTuber describes as a notable chud. Now, at the end of the day, there's been apologies issued. The Project Hail Mary writer has said that they went too far with their comments about Starfleet Academy and its creator, Alex Kurtzman. But how did we get to this point? Well, let's begin with the most recent set of news involving Starfleet Academy, which is going to end with its second season. It has been canceled. The second season was already in production, so they're just finishing that off. And for anyone who's been paying attention to this show right here, this is not surprising at all. This is the modern audience slop that we've been dealing with. It is a show that was far more interested in virtue signaling, inserting a modern agenda, and owning the chuds than it was actually producing entertaining content and achieving positive ratings. But the sort of blame coming from the shills of the show who will do anything to defend it, they're not doing anything about the creators, the actors. They're not to blame. It's everyone else, including right-wingers, MAGA, anti-woke people. They're blaming everyone but the show itself because, well, no one watched. But that's not surprising. This show appealed to the modern audience, and that's exactly what they got. And that is demonstrated by this petition. The modern audience is out in full force with 25,000 signatures on this petition to get a third season of Starfleet Academy. To give you an idea, The Acolyte received around 100,000 signatures. Despite being a very successful and relevant franchise for literally decades, Star Trek and Starfleet Academy only produced 25,000 for this petition. I mean, that just shows you how bad things are. Now, you would think this is a learning lesson for those involved with Starfleet Academy. We did too much ham-fisted agenda pushing. Maybe we should stop trying to own the chuds and actually produce stuff that people enjoy. No lessons were learned. In fact, the most recent headline comes from this, where an actor for the project came out and said that they want to make the second season gay as F and to go out in flames, promising to make his character even louder and more annoying when it comes to representation. Yup, they are going with own the chuds. They literally learn nothing. They will never learn, and this show is going to be a laughingstock once again. But you know what? People like myself, we're not complaining. If they're going to go through with this second season, at least make it some content for us to farm, you know? But of course, more blaming is taking place, even from actors like Robert Picardo, blaming the show getting canceled on a lack of advertising, which is very rich when it comes to an IP like Star Trek. That is the advertising. Being an IP of Star Trek is an advertisement. As long as you go out there and produce something decent, it will have some legs. But in this case, they cared more about virtue signaling than producing entertainment, and while they're paying for it. So while Picardo is blaming the show getting canceled on a lack of advertising, the Project Hail Mary author has a different theory, saying modern Star Trek, including Starfleet Academy and its producer, are creating garbage. Yes, plain and simple and very blunt, but he's right. I think anybody looking at this objectively realizes this author has a point, and the numbers are backing it up. Now, of course, let's pause for a second and talk about Project Hail Mary. This released about a week and a half ago. I had the pleasure of watching it. I would highly recommend it. It was a great experience, and one that I think pretty much anybody can enjoy, and the numbers are really proving that. It's already grossed over 300 million globally. It's doing really, really well. And, well, they're getting a lot of favors from everyone involved, including Ryan Gosling, who told fans it's not their job to save movie theaters. Hollywood needs to make movies worth seeing, which is a very refreshing thing to hear from an actor. This has been received very well by people who are like, wow, this looks like accountability. Actors and people involved in these movies saying, we need to produce something good to fill up theaters. It's not our job to save theaters. We just need to make movies worth seeing in the first place. And he's absolutely right. Now let's focus on Andy Weir, who is the writer of Project Hail Mary. And, well, he definitely has a chip on his shoulder when it comes to Star Trek. Apparently, he pitched a Star Trek show to Paramount. And he was there with the showrunners and spent a lot of time talking with executive producer Alex Kurtzman. But, well, it didn't really work out. And his pitch was not accepted, and his attitude was, well, F him. Now, this comment would get a lot of controversy, especially given the fact that related comments were shared in a collaboration with The Critical Drinker, who has really gone mainstream because of this collaboration. And during it, the Project Hail Mary author said that the modern Star Trek shows, including Starfleet Academy and its producer, are garbage. And, well, that received overwhelming support for the honesty and for, well, speaking what a lot of people think is the truth. And if you look at these things objectively, yeah, he's right. And a lot of people in Hollywood are afraid to make any statements like this, but he is stating the obvious. Modern Star Trek, including Starfleet Academy, is garbage, and the ratings back that up. But some people are not happy about this, including Matt Jarbo, who, as I learn more about, he seems to be more and more of a lolcow that people have been farming for quite some time. But he had a lot to say, saying, I cannot in good conscience support Project Hail Mary after Andy Weir went on a stream with noted chud critical drinker. For years, this man has tried to destroy everything that you guys stand for, and to give him a pass like that is a bridge too far. Holy soy. The soy levels are off the charts, ladies and gentlemen. This guy unironically called Critical Drinker a noted chud. That is crazy work. On top of that, he's trying to say that Critical Drinker is responsible for destroying everything these people stand for. I mean, I'm glad you speak on behalf of all these people in the industry. But Matt Jarbo here would go on to explain his comments, and they're just as bad as it looks right here.
What I'm going to say is going to definitely not win me any friends, and I don't really care about that at this particular point in time, but I have to talk to you guys about Project Hail Mary and, well, my reasoning for not going to see it in theaters and my reasoning for telling you to not also go and see it in theaters. And if you have gone and seen it, don't go see it again. Okay. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Matt, what the hell? Why are you talking about this? This movie is amazing. I've heard nothing but good things. How could it possibly be something worth boycotting and not seeing in the best possible screen available? And that, of course, has everything to do with this. So Andy Weir, the writer of the book as well as The Martian, went on a podcast with Will Jordan, aka The Critical Drinker, to yuck it up about science fiction, fantasy, YouTube, and everything else in between. And I just find that is a step too far. Will Jordan, Critical Drinker, and his acolytes are people who want to see Hollywood destroyed in order to then push their own manosphere message. If you listen to things that he says, he very much, winks and dog whistles to his audience in very sexist, bigoted, discriminatory, misogynistic, sexist, I think I already said that, ways in order to make sure that his audience is always angry about something.
It's truly fascinating that people like Matt Jarbo will just voluntarily share these awful opinions for people like myself to farm for content, because it's really that simple. I mean, this is an insane effort trying to start a boycott against Project Hail Mary because Andy Weir went on a stream with noted chud Critical Drinker. Like, it is absolutely one of the funniest things I have seen. But looking at this tweet, it's got to be a humiliation fetish at this point. I mean, look at this. 325,000 views on this tweet, 100 likes, and over 1,200 replies. Over 12 times as many replies as likes, and all of them are dunking on this guy. Here's just a few, right? Is this a parody post? Are you being serious right now? Are you using chud unironically? Someone tell me this is a meme. I don't know who this guy is. Posted 20 hours ago, only has 11 likes with 19,000 followers. I don't think any more needs to be said. Matt Jarbo is a little B. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. They are bodying you in the comments and you deserve it. They live rent-free in your head, don't they? How will they ever recover from this? The Rock of Shame doesn't need likes. The Rock of Shame just sits here to tell you that it is smarter than you. And this last one right here, didn't know who you are, so I had to ask Grok who you are and why I should care about your opinion. You're gonna need to DoorDash some cream for this burn, where Grok, an AI system, literally says you probably shouldn't when asked whether or not you should care about this guy's opinion. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But this guy is also someone who quoted this: Star Trek is more full of social justice and progressive politics than a lot of other sci-fi. It chooses to have a world where money isn't an issue, where religion is something that is not important, and people actually work for the betterment of each other. And this post asks, does he know what he's talking about? Well, people in the chat, does Matt Jarbo know what he's talking about here? Whether you're a Star Trek fan or not, please comment below if this guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to Star Trek. But of course, some more trouble was a-brewing here. There's another angle to all this, where the author Don Winslow hit back at Project Hail Mary's author Andy Weir, saying this: congrats on the success of Project Hail Mary and The Martian. I'm a real fan. But when you have your moment, don't use it to crap on other writers' work. I disagree. I think this should happen more often. I think anyone involved with Starfleet Academy should be shamed. I think they should be put on blast for fumbling an IP like that, because they thought it was more important to virtue signal and to own the chud, so to speak, than it was to not only respect the IP, but to make something entertaining out of it. They completely dropped the ball. But we got sort of a bad twist here, where Andy Weir has apologized to Alex Kurtzman over these Star Trek remarks, basically saying it came off as more mean-spirited than he had hoped, which, again, I disagree with apologizing here. I think he did nothing wrong, and I think he was speaking on behalf of probably any sane person looking at the situation, and I think this sort of interaction that he started should be a more common one. We should not have to coddle these people driving IPs into the ground because they care more about the modern agenda or their own personal politics. But of course, we see Nerdrotic here quoting the related post, saying, you guys talk crap about each other all the time. More of it needs to be made public. Bring shame back to Hollywood. Starfleet Academy should be embarrassing for all involved, from the Paramount management down to the catering. A live stream of a Spock action figure was watched by more live concurrent viewers than Starfleet Academy's premiere on YouTube. No one who worked on this show should be allowed to write and produce a grocery list. And I cannot disagree with anything that was said here. That is how bad Starfleet Academy was, and we should not be, again, coddling these people who produced absolute slop. This was a very great headline. It has a little asterisk next to it now because he has apologized, but he was not wrong. Andy Weir was not wrong for making these comments. I think they're very agreeable on their face to begin with, and I think that this is a pattern of behavior and accountability that should be more active. We should not be pretending that something like Starfleet Academy is a respectable show. Anybody involved should be accountable. And if they want to blame right-wingers or a lack of advertising, they should be shamed even further. And I can't wait for the second season to come out, where there will be more attention from people making fun of it than positive attention towards the show. They've made that very clear. The actors have made that very clear. They're going to be as woke as possible. Bring it on. Your show is canceled. At least make entertainment out of it. I mean, we know you guys are not capable of creating entertainment in a positive way, so at least make something entertainment for people like myself and others to make fun of. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.